The Loss of the Innocence. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Gavin Richard Presents here on my channel, GBoo2786. Whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Guys, if you know me, you know I talked about my upbringing in the Catholic faith. And here in New Orleans, it's predominantly Catholic. Now, I'm not here to tell you which way you should believe, what to follow, and so forth. And I know there may be some people questioning why I'm showing a picture of a white God. That's what some people think. I don't think about that. I understand where it comes from, but I am listening to the message. Now, for purposes of this video and what I want to talk about, you're going to understand in a little bit where I'm going with this. In a second. But being that I grew up in the Catholic Church, and I went to, of course, predominantly black Catholic high schools, a high school like St. Augustine High School, black Catholic schools, middle school. I was at Corpus Christi and St. Anthony of Padua, St. Leo the Great when I was in elementary school. And so forth, and kindergarten as well. That's the environment. Now, being a practicing Catholic, one of the things that we look at and we follow, of course, aside from obeying the sacraments, sacrament of matrimony and the sacrament of the Eucharist and baptism and reconciliation, those are things that are an important part of my life. We also talk about devotion to the Blessed Mother, not worship, because it's not true that Catholics worship Mary. But we honor and respect Mary because she is seen as not only the Mother of God, but she's also the first Christian because she accepted God's will before anyone else when she said yes to giving birth to the Son of God. Now, having said all of that, the reason why I have this picture up, this title, and Blessed Virgin Mary. Mary has a lot of titles, including Our Lady of Fatima, which is probably her most famous event that was witnessed in Fatima, Portugal in 1917 by over 100,000 spectators. In October of that year saw the sun dance in the sky and other countless miracles. It was raining there, and then the ground soaked up and the ground was soaking wet, and after the miracle the ground was dry, which was impossible to fake or forge. Other people say that the blind could see, the deaf could hear, people could walk. Now, and this was witnessed also by atheists as well. This was atheists and agnostics, and in fact there's a newspaper, it was a Masonic newspaper that actually entitled Miracle of the Sun. Now that's the English, that's what it means in English, but in Portuguese it was entitled in a different language. And there's also been apparitions, of course, here in North America, Our Lady of Guadalupe, where she put roses in the tilma of St. Juan Diego on Tepeyac Hill. And when Juan Diego appeared before the bishop to request that the Blessed Virgin Mary would have a church built on this hill and named after her, under that title, Our Lady of Guadalupe, as he opened the tilma, an image of the Virgin Mary appeared. And that's actually been shown in countless documentaries back in the day. You guys, if you look at Netflix, or film, not even Netflix, but you go on YouTube, I think FilmRise, they have Unsolved Mysteries. You can watch a video they did on both of those apparitions. This one is called Our Lady of the Good Event. And a lot of people entitle it's mistranslated as Our Lady of Good Success, which is a title of the Virgin Mary, but it's really Our Lady of the Good Event. And it happened in the 16th century. In Akita, Ecuador, a nun by the name of Mariana de Jesus Torres, a Conceptionist sister, purported seeing Marian apparitions from February 2nd 1594, and February 6, 1634. And in 1611, the local bishop gave his approval to the apparitions that had occurred up to that point. But she talked about in the apparitions, there were several things that she mentioned that would happen, in particular at the turn of the century, at the turn of the 20th century, especially to the Catholic Church. And this was after the middle, I said turn of the 20th century. It's actually shortly after the middle of the 20th century. And those things included widespread moral corruption, profanation of the sacrament of matrimony, depraved priests who would scandalize the faithful and cause suffering for good priests. We got that all right. Unbridled lust, which will ensnare many souls. Loss of innocence among children and loss of modesty among women. Yeah. Loss of priestly and religious vocations. Now, she says shortly after the middle of the 20th century, and it will affect both the Catholic Church and society. So we know, especially when they talk about the sacrament of matrimony, we know what's happened now with same-sex marriage being legalized in America, and pretty soon I think polygamy will be legalized. Just as a precedent, a legal precedent, I see if you change the gender element of marriage, which it has changed, eventually you're going to have to change the number, because then, therefore, if one person loves someone of the same sex, as you say, and love is love, why can't I love multiple people? And there have been people that have been trying that. There have been cases, legal cases that I know of, where a man tried to marry or was married to his sister. There were people who have tried to, and I believe it's the character from Sister Wives, who I think they live in Utah, if I'm not mistaken. They've challenged the laws there with regards to polygamy based off of their religious beliefs. And I believe they won. Now, I mention all of this for a particular reason. And again, I'm not trying to, this is not me trying to throw my religion in your face and say it's better than yours. But I listen to these apparitions and reading this story about these apparitions, and I can't help but wonder if all of that is coming to pass. Because what is said in these topics and these statements are very specific and relevant to what is happening today, and we are in the early part of the 21st century now. See, I was born in 1986. So at that time, the 20th century was about to wrap up, of course, and you had obviously the breakup of the families that started to come forward. You had abortion that was legalized, and that's another thing I think that the Blessed Mother was talking about, although she didn't mention it specifically, that word. You look at the breakup of morality. Children have no respect for the adults, and the adults don't respect the children. They don't think nothing of their children. You have kids born in single parent households. There's lack of a father in some of these households, which is where a lot of these kids, I'm just going to say it, let's be real, a lot of these kids need their ass whooped. A lot of this is coming from that, not having dads in the household, acting up in school. Teachers that don't want to teach. Teachers that get frustrated. They're just there to collect a check. Don't care about the upbringing of their students. Doctors that are failing in their Hippocratic oath. Lawyers who are failing in their oath. Judges who are not upholding the law. Politicians who give us bullshit stories. Oh, excuse me. I didn't mean to curse in front of you. I curse all the time. I was trying to avoid it because I'm talking about this religious topic, Y'all hear me curse all the time though, but I was trying not to do it, especially on this one. But this is, so I just think about that and I wonder, is any of that true? And it brings me to why I'm mentioning this, and that was because of this. Okay, I already did a live stream on it. But you guys know that this is entitled, this is the French title of this film called Mignones. and it's a film by Mamona Ducore. And Mamona Ducore is an African woman. She is from my research, I believe she's a Senegalese woman. She directed this film. It debuted at the Sundance Film Festival and was an apparent hit. You can see the ratings that it's gotten. My understanding, it actually has 80% or 82% review on Rotten Tomatoes. And people like this. Whoever they were in France, they like this. But the Sundance Film Festival. No, I have not seen the film. Now, she's French. She's about my age. She's 35, 34, whatever. Born in Paris, France. But she's Senegalese, yes. And she was raised in Paris. And a lot of that stuff with pedophilia and so forth comes from Europe. They deal with a lot of stuff like that. And a movie is supposedly based on a traditional Senegalese Muslim girl who is caught and torn between two contrasting fortunes, traditional values, and internet culture, while also speaking about hypersexualization of pre-adolescent girls. This is the description for this film. And she took supposedly her life experiences as a refugee girl into account with this. Now you can see the comments here. This woman wrote, "I saw the French film poster for this film and thought it looked empowering for young girls, as I haven't seen it, so I don't know, but the Netflix photo definitely gives off a different vibe, and it's a shame if it misrepresents the true spirit of the film." Okay, even when I look at this is awkward. Now, this is the original poster for the film. And this is what Netflix put out. Now, Netflix got, you can see this guy, Coco, he wrote, "Netflix, what the F is this? This is fucking disgusting. Minors shouldn't be sexualized like this, and the fact that this is a black girl lead makes this even worse. For those asking, yes, this is real. It's on the app." I've seen the trailer for it because I was trying to figure out why everyone was reacting. What was this? And you notice it's called Cuties. Okay? So the way that it looks to an American audience, the Western audience, of course, is that you are sexualizing young girls. I mean, the black girls, the two Senegalese girls, are in if you notice, are in the most provocative positions when you see this. The lead is this young girl here, and I'm even uncomfortable showing this, but I want you guys to see this is the agenda that they are trying to push on to America and the world. She's doing a little Kim pose. You got the other one in she's on her knees like and I get that, yeah, they got girls dance troops and so forth, but this is certainly something else. This don't look like dance. And when you read the description from Netflix, this is the original description. They say here, Amy, 11, becomes fascinated with a twerking dance crew. Hoping to join them, she starts to explore her femininity, defying her family's traditions. Now, how does an 11-year-old start to explore her femininity? When you're 11 years old, you don't know any better. When you're 11 years old, that's a pre-adolescent. That's not a teenager. I get that girls start to develop when they're younger, much quicker than boys, but at 11 years old, that's just way too young. I have an 11-year-old niece. There's no way there's no way I would let her see something like this. I know her parents wouldn't let her see stuff like this. I know she wouldn't be dressed like this. You know, my 11-year-old, she's into Frozen 2. She's into coloring and drawing, playing with her toys, her Barbie doll sets. That's what 11-year-olds are into. If this was a teenager, it'd be one thing. And somebody put out, I saw the article from Pop Sugar. You know, they put out that they tried to put this out where, well, nobody reacted when you said when Good Boys came out and Good Boys had kids playing with sex toys. Let me say this: I never saw Good Boys. First and foremost, Pop Sugar, and you know, I've never watched it, and yeah, I'm aware that it's gotten great ratings by people, but you know what? Those boys weren't in a fucking twerking contest. Excuse me, I'm sorry I did it again. Those boys weren't wearing provocative clothing, and Netflix didn't put it out there talking about an 11-year-old trying to explore his masculinity. I don't even think that was Netflix, but that was a Seth Rogen film that they had produced last year. A lot of people have been boycotting Netflix. People are calling for Netflix to drop the film. I know that on its YouTube channel, and you can take a look at it. I'm going to put it up right here. Hold on a second. I've been looking at a lot of stuff these days. Give me a second, guys. If you go right here, yeah, this was the article I was reading from MovieWeb, and I played this on my live stream the other day. But this actually has, I don't know what the number of likes to dislikes is right now, but it had last time I checked, well over 500,000 dislikes. And everywhere I've looked, there have been people that have been protesting it, boycotting it. There's a petition on change.org to remove the film. They're calling on Netflix to remove the film. And Netflix's response to it was just god awful. Netflix actually, look at that, 702,000 dislikes to 21,000 likes. Netflix actually, their response to this was even worse, because let me see if I can pull it up right here. If you look at, this guy was tweeting back and forth with Netflix, and his name is Carmine Sabia. He said, artwork, I don't give a fuck what awards your pedo movie got. You cannot comment on whether or not you support pedophilia. How does a movie sexualizing children get approved? Who signed off on this? We understand that not all stories may appeal to our viewers, which is why we always invest in a diverse range of content from all over the world. We also provide ratings, synopsis, trailers, and controls to help our members make the right viewing choices for themselves and their families. But then, okay, I didn't mean to click that, excuse me. This guy wrote, yeah, changing the description won't change what is on screen. If the original description was accurate, the whole thing needs to be burned. So when Carmine asked another question, he said, well, do you support pedophilia? It was a yes or no. Netflix responded, and you can look right here. He screenshot this. A simple yes or no will suffice. We cannot really comment on that, but while we believe in creative freedom at Netflix, we respect all religions and their cultures, traditions, and values. Okay. So you guys saw that. Okay? So it is clear that Netflix is trying to push and promote sexualization of minors. I hesitated to say the right word on that one. And the fact that this was rated, if you saw that, if you saw the description, it was rated TV mature. It was originally rated, hold on a second, TV mature. Now Netflix changed the description up, if you go look at it, but it doesn't change what the film is about. And I know that they're saying, well, the artwork was bad. Well, let me ask you something. Why did you decide then to put that art? Who did you hire? Because it hasn't been determined, but did Netflix hire an ad agency to actually do that? Did they talk with them? Did they describe what they wanted? They had to have done that because their brand is on it. The Netflix name is on this film. Look at it. Right there. The release date, the name. So, sorry. They know what they were doing. And I understand, yeah, I support art. I support people expressing themselves and so forth, but some shit just don't mix. I'm not feeling it. And you had the girl from Creed and Thor, Ragnarok, Tessa Thompson. Yeah, Tessa Thompson was talking about, well, I've seen the movie. It's different from what they've put out in the poster. I left torn. I was sad. You know, what the fuck is, what's wrong with you? I know you confused as hell already, but damn, what is wrong with you? I didn't see the film. Most of the people were complaining about it. I agree. I've never seen the film. So, yeah, it may be different than, people can say, well, it's not what it looks like. But just looking at the trailer, how it was cut, and then one of the lines that was said in the film, the young girl is told by her mother while she's picking out clothes, she says, now you're a woman. I don't really feel like playing the trailer again, but I want you to hear what I'm saying.
88. Mais qu'est-ce que c'est que ça? Il se passe quoi là? Vous faisiez quoi à la gare? On va danser au concours. Je danse avec vous. Quoi? Oh mais les gens ils ont grave kiffé, tu vois tous les likes qu'on a eu.
Vous savez où passe l'esprit du mal? C'est sur ces femmes dénudées.
Pour le mariage de ton père. Regarde comment elle te va. Tu es une femme maintenant.
Okay. She tells her daughter.
Maintenant.
T'étais où là? T'as foutu quoi?
J'étais en retard.
En retard? Je suis désolée.
Me dis pas que... Non, tu l'as volé?
Oh la teugla, j'y crois pas.
À quoi tu joues là, ami? Qui es-tu, ami? Laisse couler l'eau, ma chérie. Les péchés s'effacent avec.
Vous avez quel âge?
Non, 14.
Okay, and you see okay, so you guys saw that. That still was disturbing. Even if it's not what they say it is, just looking at it is still disturbing. Like, you can't take it out of my mind. You can't change my mind about it. Because these are 11-year-olds, and it's rated mature. So that means children are not even allowed to see it by themselves. And you just look at the comments that are pouring in. I would rather watch a Twilight movie than see this trailer for what is obviously a film only made to satisfy the pedophilia in society, which honestly should be in jail for their actions. Me and the boys on our way to dislike this film. Good. I mean, you just see this stuff, man. Netflix is brave as for not turning off the comments. And that was another thing I saw was they were talking to the older boys. And no, I haven't seen the film. I don't know what happened, but it just doesn't look good. Somebody wrote best movie of the decade, Jeffrey Epstein. I laugh, but it's not funny. But I'm just trying to figure out who the movie's for then, if it's TV mature. This honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this would break Netflix. If people just started canceling their descriptions, and I'm one of them, I'm about to cancel it right now because this was too much. Who's here just for the like-dislike ratio? The dislike ratio was the best thing seen coming here. If you ever feel useless, just remember there is a like button on this. There are little innocent girls, children being shown off inappropriately for all the wrong people. The likes on this, oh. The FBI said, Netflix, we need to chat. No, I don't trust the FBI either, but okay. This guy wrote, this movie is just pedo material disguised as woman-female empowerment. The plot of this movie is to show us how bad it is to sexualize young children, but they ended up sexualizing these 11-year-old girls just to prove their point. Now that's hypocritical and disgusting. It was even listed as for a mature audience. A bunch of 11-year-old kids dancing is for a mature audience. We all know there's a lot of sick people out there who will watch this not to feel empowered, right? The movie will cause more harm than awareness. Yeah. So I'm just thinking about this. Let me get out of this, man, because I don't even feel like talking about this crap no more. But obviously, Netflix is. This is like I said. I think this is going to break Netflix. Real. They are certainly feeling the heat right now from this, and they should for putting out garbage like this. So I just think. Does this reflect? Is just part of what's going on in the world, as what the apparitions purported to say back in the 1600s. Over 365 years ago. The loss of innocence, indeed, it seems. Whether you believe in the blessed, you believe in God or not, morality certainly has taken a turn for the worse. That's it for me, guys. This has been another edition of Gavin Richard Presents here on my channel, GBoo2786. I hope you enjoyed this video. More to come. If you feel like to donate to the channel, please donate at the Cash App, GavinRichardEsq. I'll have the links in the video description. You guys be safe and be blessed. I'll holla. Peace.